A lot of biopics have been made about musicians over the last few years, and this movie is about one of the biggest pop culture icons of the 20th century. This is my review of Elvis. The movie is a full-life biopic look at Elvis Presley. It follows him from his humble beginnings, to his rise as one of the biggest musical acts ever, and then his later years where he struggled to stay as big of a star as he once was. The first thing you need to know about this Elvis movie is that it is helmed by director Baz Luhrmann. His last movie was almost 10 years ago with 2013's The Great Gatsby starring Leonardo DiCaprio. His movies tend to have a fever dream quality to them, and this Elvis movie is no different. The fever dream atmosphere of this movie really worked for me, especially in the first half. If you can't jump on board with this fever dream aesthetic, then you are going to have a rough time with this movie. The other thing I also really liked was actor Austin Butler's portrayal as Elvis. He obviously doesn't 100% look like Elvis, especially in the second half of the movie playing an older version of Presley, but he nails the voice and accent and all the physical characteristics that made Elvis into such a legend in pop culture. The things I didn't love about this movie is Tom Hanks' portrayal as Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker. Hanks does the best he can, although his accent is really over the top, and I think it was only done to make Parker look more like a villain. On the other hand, the makeup and everything to make Hanks look like Parker is pretty good. The thing that I think is unfortunate about the narrative of this movie is the over-the-top way it makes Parker look like the ultimate bad guy. Sure, he deserves a lot of criticism for taking way too much of the money, but it is very possible that Elvis may have never taken off or had been as successful as he was without him. The other thing that I think is mishandled is the way the movie makes it seem like Elvis's only musical influences were gospel and rhythm and blues. The movie almost completely ignores the idea that he was ever influenced by country music. One of the biggest reasons Elvis became so successful was due to him being one of the young recording artists from the 1950s that was merging the styles of country music with rhythm and blues. That merging is exactly what helped create the rock and roll sound. I understand that people want to just say that Elvis appropriated black music, and that argument isn't entirely untrue, but it is a very simplified way to look at Elvis Presley's career, and it is pushed by people with political agendas. The movie overall is very fair to Elvis as a person. Like anyone, he was a complicated person with negative qualities, and the filmmakers don't entirely shy away from showing that. This movie uses a lot of artistic license to portray things in completely different ways than how they happened, and that didn't bother me too much, although it is annoying. Altogether, Elvis is a pretty solid biopic movie, even though it is a bit too long for its own good. I'm giving Elvis 3.5 out of 5 stars, with a thumbs up.